Good morning, everybody. Hope you all had a nice break
First time.
and back to work. If I could have a roll call, please.
Chair Rutledge,
Here.
Vice Chair Garcia,
Here.
Member Cahill, Member Evans, Member LaPlante,
Here.
Member Comer, here.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, Chairwoman remarks, I am going to make a slight change in our agenda this morning and I want to push scarce up to 7A. We preempted her last month, so I want to make sure that we have time to get her presentation in this morning. And the fact that we have a quorum, thank you for that, because I think that's always an issue after JPS. So do we have any public comment? No public comment, thank you. Next, I'll ask for a motion on 24-2079, the approval of minutes from Tuesday, July 2nd.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. Staff reports, Joy, CPRG grant application.
So I wanted
update.
to, I wanted to update the committee. We did, as you may recall, we did apply with multiple applications for the CPRG federal money with King County. We applied as a sub-awardee with Cook and Chicago. Public Works applied with the other wastewater treatment plants in the area. And then we did also apply and support the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus application. None of those were awarded. However, as you may have seen, because it is all over the place, the state of Illinois was awarded $430 million toward their climate action plan. I wanted to update you on the project area. So accelerate clean and efficient buildings with the goal of retrofitting 12,000 homes and 2.3 million square feet of commercial space, and as well as training hundreds of clean building contractors, provide incentives, workforce training, technical assistance to reduce greenhouse gases and diesel emissions from freight, establish a clean industry concierge to support low carbon retrofitting of 10 industrial facilities, promote adoption of climate smart agricultural practices, including converting approximately 300,000 acres to no-till, accelerate transition from gas-powered lawn equipment to electric equipment, and create high-quality jobs and workforce training opportunities in low-income and disadvantaged communities. So we are hoping to have some opportunities from the state to qualify under their award.
Thank you for that, Joy, and I'm glad to hear about the no-till because we're literally washing our topsoil down to the Gulf of Mexico and no-till will stop that. And so I think that, plus the 8 people that died on I-55 last year because of the dust storm, because we didn't have enough rain in the springtime, no-till would have stopped that as well. So we really have to take a look at our farming practices, and I'd like to see a little more diversification beyond corn and soybeans too, because that degrades the soil as well. So I'm very glad to see that part of the funding. So next, our presentation from Scares.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Okay.
So really fast, Earth flags have been busy. So I haven't been here for a while, so Benson the library received their Earth flag June 24th. It was they've done so many good things for the environment and for the library and to reach out to the public. Westmont Library got theirs up in May. Again, they are such a community group working with so many of their community committees and organizations to bring composting to their library and native plants and Eagle Scout projects. It was really a great ceremony to present them their flag. Roselle Middle School, that was a research, and it was really cool because we did every single grade, we did every single kid at the Roselle Middle School research program. So that was a lot of fun. Go ahead. The stem of the design challenge, was in April and the awards were in May. The Lake Park on the right picture, they got the top model for both energy and water quality protection. Lake Park on the bottom also got the top energy award. And then Glenbard East came in second place for the top water, but the points were so close between York and Glenbard East, we had to have a second award for water quality because they did such an amazing job. Go ahead. So in May, we had our Get Your Garden Growing Green market with a repair fair, with compost, with native plants. It was our biggest, it's the first time in 9 years, you guys, we've had good weather. Didn't rain, didn't sleet, didn't snow, whatever. So we were grateful for that. We also had the highest turnout that we've ever had. So we were really grateful. And the most native plants for people to buy between trees and shrubs and organically started veggies. It really was a very rounded kind of a garden event. Go ahead. So we took the numbers of our programs just April through July. Those 3 months, 148 programs, 103 groups, over 7,500 people. We didn't count the booths and things. Those are so hard to count. These are the actual in-person programs. So we're really thrilled with that. I think schools and so forth, I think a lot of people are feeling safer to be out and a little bit less COVID. So we're really grateful that people are back up and being in the community.
We're in the biggest surge right now.
Right now, right now. I said, right, yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
They
like,
were.
July.
April through July, right? Go ahead.
Okay.
So Forest Glen School is a school that's working on the research in Glen Ellen, and the teacher in the middle of that left-hand picture, Kathleen, she has really had to start from the beginning. COVID and all kinds of things set the school back. So they've started a new club. They got 2 trees planted. The kids it's really a student-led project, and they worked all year. So we'll be working this year to finish up for their recertification for Earth Flag in Glen Ellen. Go ahead. You guys know we collect stuff from all kinds of businesses here in DuPage County. I mean, hundreds of businesses and families each month bring us supplies. And this is the largest Indian reservation in our country, Navajo Nation. They're in that Four Corners area of Arizona and New Mexico. And a friend of ours owns that RV, and he was going there to help fix homes and help people fix their own homes. So we sent him with tools and drum sets and guitars and books and school supplies and personal care items, almost 800 pounds. We are so fortunate here in DuPage County to be able to collect usable good items and to share them with kids and schools around the country. So didn't go to the landfill, didn't get recycled, it got used. It's getting used. So we're really grateful to our volunteers who repair the guitars, to everything that gets sorted and organized. It's a nice project. Go ahead. So our Where's Way exhibit, it just finished 2 months in Bensonville, June and July, and got dropped off at the Villa Park Library for this month. And at the end of this month, I'll be doing a program on recycled paper making and kind of the art of it and the history of it and how we recycle paper today. Go ahead. We recycle books. We go through every single book that comes in to see if it can be a book again for kids or for adults or for wherever. And the books that cannot be reused, the binding's broken, its pages are missing, whatever. And then cardboard and then white paper. So for January through June, it was over 100 tons of books that got recycled after we tried for reuse. And then we don't have the July numbers yet, but there were 6 pickups, and each pickup is 12 of those black containers. So 6 times 12, it's a lot of those containers. So I don't have the numbers yet, but it is tons of books that get recycled. The trees get reused that way. But first choice is reusing the books and getting them to kids in need. In the month of July, we had 744 teachers come through. 55% of those are DuPage County teachers needing books for their kids. Right here. That's a tremendous amount of books in need. So the reuse is critical to us. Go ahead. So upcoming recycling events, we cannot be at all the recycling events anymore. There's just too many. So on the 24th, we'll be in the one at Naperville. West Chicago will be collecting some things for us, but we can't be at that one. Then September we'll be there in Roselle, and the Winfield Township one. Theirs is huge every year. Students from Bartlett High School helped us with the one in April. So we're trying to get more and more key clubs and environmental clubs, a real action type of a volunteer opportunity. Go ahead. So STEMapalooza, thanks for everybody who came, and we could not have done it without a tremendous amount of help. But we had lots of energy exhibits. We had 5 new exhibits. We had our balloon exhibit, which was new and thoughtful. And Thursday was kind of a slow day. I'm not sure the whole county knew that it was 4 days this year, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were really big days. lots and lots of kids, lots and lots of families. Go ahead. So I am thrilled. Itasca has been doing collections of cooking oil for their Green Days that takes place the first Saturday of May and also at their Itasca Fest. But Brian said, how come we're not a permanent site? And I said, because you didn't sign up. So they are now a permanent site. So we have 13 permanent sites now for cooking oil drop-off. So it doesn't clog the drains. It gets turned into a biofuel. And amazingly, right after Brian set that up, you know, the next slide, the Tribune had this big story about from fryer to flyer. United wants to be the first airline using most, decrease air pollutants, right? Keep things out of the water. I mean, it's just a win-win kind of a project. So we have 13 sites. Woodridge, when it's back up and running, will be the active 13th site, but we're really excited to be able to offer that to more residents. So our next goal will be kind of, we're really good in the northeastern part of DuPage County. We want to get more in the northwestern part of DuPage County and the southeastern part of DuPage County for residents to drop it off. And then you guys on balloons, I don't know how many of you get a chance to read your ComEd bill, but this month's bill has a whole article, a whole little blurb about Mylar balloons and how it puts out, it gets tangled in the power lines and turns off, you know, cuts off the power surges and service interruptions, keep those Mylar balloons, you know, in hand and so kind of thing. So one, we do it for the wildlife and not getting tangled, but this is, if, I'm not sure how many people read all those little, he just said no, that's honest. But you know, sometimes there's really good information in what they send you. So I don't know if anybody wants to, we'll be putting out on Facebook and stuff, but that's really important for people to know. It's not just about wildlife. It is about service interruption. I know Woodridge, maybe a decade ago, somebody let go a whole bouquet of Mylar balloons and people were stuck in elevators at the Woodridge shopping mall because there was no power. So it's really good if people read that. I'm not sure, but some people might not be concerned about wildlife as we are, but this might encourage them not to let Mylar balloons go.
And the helium.
And then the wasting the helium. So thanks, you guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate all your efforts. And Sustainable DuPage, thank you for your shift. Let's hear what you got to tell us today.
Okay. Thank you all for letting me come today to give you an update.
And
All right, so I just want to give you an update about what Choose DuPage is doing with Sustainable DuPage for 2024 so far. Next slide. We are continuing to work with CDEC from University of Illinois, very strong partner for us, helping us in all things to get to the businesses and give them the correct guidance. Next slide. Okay, so now we'll move into the outcomes. Next slide. Okay, so I've talked about the green business assessments and checklists. So we are still doing the assessments with those businesses that volunteered. We're not doing as many as we did last year. They are somewhat expensive. So far today, total is 14 of the assessments have been done with businesses that volunteer. So how do we reach the broader business audience? We release the checklist. And so the checklist is for the businesses to do a self-internal assessment on their own. Next slide. And so in the checklist, it's covering, so what I gave you was some screenshots so you can get a sense of what's in the checklist. It's covering the 6 main areas of sustainability. And you can see the blue box is how the table of contents is set up if they want to jump in. There are green tips throughout just to give a business more insight. And those can be simplistic green tips or more technical, such as the second check on the right is about changing the heating to radiant heaters or infrared heaters for those with warehouses and looking to help it in the winter. Wastewater, reducing waste, those are all areas that are being addressed as well. I've given the link so you can see the broader checklist. It's, I think, just about 15, maybe 16 pages. We try to make it easy to follow, that a business will work through it, and it gives 69 total measures with it. Next slide. The Green Business Guide, that is what we're working on now to release this year. That will be a complementary document to the checklist. So think of it like a workbook. It's going to give more information on the checklist items, and businesses are being asked by their customers, do you have a sustainability plan, a formal plan where it's written? And so that's what the workbook will accomplish to help the businesses. And we are identifying regional resources and funding as part of that Green Business Guide. Next slide. Part of what we did with the ones volunteering in assessment to talk them through about getting certified, because these are businesses that are committed. And so what does that mean? And so there's the Illinois Green Business Program that gives certification. And of the 14 right now, we have 3 actively working towards the certification. In all the different certifications, there's multiple certifications, different industries have certifications. We felt this was the best one to guide our businesses to, but we do let them know everything available to them. Next slide. And CDEC continues to work with the businesses for that. And then I've talked about releasing the case studies. So it took us a little longer because we wanted to ensure we branded it. And those assessments the companies got were very technical. And in releasing it publicly, you have to write it in a way that others will resonate with the information. So it took us a little longer, but we've already got 3 up on the website we've released. There'll be 10 total that will be released. There will be no names identified because we don't want a specific type of restaurant to deter another type of restaurant saying that's not me. So we've written it so it could be applicable to all restaurants. So there's 7 manufacturing case studies, 1 restaurant, 1 salon, and 1 office building that will be released so far. And then more will come from the new assessments this year. Next slide. And then a survey. So Sadia, I think you had asked about, are we getting from what we gave as the recommended savings, right? If they followed the recommended steps. So we did start doing the survey. It's a little early. As you can see, the bottom is they all wish they had unlimited funds to be able to do everything, right? Everybody wants solar roofs, but those are expensive. So we're a little early on gauging the savings. We're hoping this next quarter will give us, a little bit more than the first round of surveys, but they are taking actions, probably more of the lower hanging, low cost that they could do right away. Next slide. And then we're continuing to do the webinars. So in April, we did Starlight Sustainability. Joy gave us that idea. That one was geared towards helping our office buildings understand keeping those lights on at night at the top floors. Is it really needed? And Adler Planetarium was one of the presenters along with CDEC. Last week, we had ComEd do rebates and incentives. That has been a natural part of all the assessments to give that recommendation and the guidance on what to do and the savings. But now we held something that was broader so all businesses could understand what's available. In September, we'll do sustainability tracking and benchmarking. That would be a natural part of that green business plan. They'll need to understand that. And then we're also going to do what is a sustainability plan so the businesses understand the need for that. Next slide. That's it for this year.
Thank you. Anybody got any questions?
All right, great.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Good stuff. Great. Thanks again to Choose DuPage. Moving on, does anybody have any old business? Any old business? Seeing none? Any new business? No new business? Without objection, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
That was.